Hello and welcome to episode 22, or the 22nd installment of the Heroes Journal podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Nick.
And I like saying installment better than episode.
Yeah?
Because the thing about an episode is you would think that an episode's it's episodic. It works together with the other episodes, where I think all of these are like bottle episodes as far as content's concerned.
Yeah, what is an installment as it's compared to an episode? Do we really know? I don't know if I know the difference.
Neither do I. And I talk with so much confidence on the front end, but now I'm just littered with uncertainty. So
Yeah, that's all right.
it is what it is.
Gotta ask questions, you know?
So on today's episode of Kyle Asked Something to Nick, which Nick has no prior information about, we've both been on Twitter recently, trying to do a little bit of Twitter networking and kind of learn about the world of entrepreneurship as it pertains to Twitter. I know there's a lot of other things going on in that world that are not on Twitter, but we're trying to learn about this specific space in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, we're also not really, before this, we weren't really Twitter people. And I think for a long time, we were like, where do we find direct consumer e-commerce entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
They're kind of like camouflaged, sort of hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
Twitter's a place to find them. If you're listening to this, you want to start a direct consumer business, e-commerce, whatever, go to Twitter. Twitter will give you information much quicker than Googling or YouTubing things will. No one's going to be on LinkedIn. Go to Twitter.
Yeah. So, as a byproduct of Twitter, I feel like I see a lot of kind of very kind of flowery, up in the clouds statements said often, because they're tweets, right? They're like, the people are trying to say really lofty ideals in a very few amount of words.
Yeah.
It's very kind of like,
It's a popularity contest a little bit.
it gets very poetic.
Who can say the coolest thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I saw it today or if I saw it last week or if I ever saw it, but that's the problem with Twitter. It's like you'll see something and then 30 tweets will happen and then it's gone forever. If you don't like it.
Right.
I didn't like it. But I always think about this is the equation for this type of tweet. It's like X is the byproduct of sustained Y. You know, it's like success is the byproduct of showing up every day. Or excellence is just sustained greatness or something like that. So you know what I mean?
Sort of. I'm not super familiar with that, but
I feel like there's almost an equation to put together like quotes that you are then able to go put on Tumblr. You know what I mean? It's
there's formality for certain quotes.
Yeah.
That exist. And it's actually not about quoting. It's like common phrases, popular in like speech writing, oration. You know?
Oh, right.
Communications. Didn't help me very much, but I know about that.
Cool. Good. I guess so. I wanted to kind of give you that formula, and I wanted to think about like what is something that you could do like continually over time that you would think would reap a reward. So, like for me, a lot of times I talk about one of the reasons the Heroes Journal was even able to exist is because I believe Nick and I showed up 5 out of 7 days a week and worked on it even a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't necessarily the byproduct of us being a genius. It wasn't the byproduct of us having the best product or an incredible marketing or business plan. It was just showing up every day.
Yeah.
And putting some time into it and letting it grow.
Sitting down every day.
Yeah, so like if you were to like take that idea of like if I did this thing really small, it could be as lofty as like hard work. It could be as specific as check my Facebook ads.
Okay.
I don't know if this is tracking.
Nope.
It's not at all.
You give me an example.
I just did give you an example. I said the Heroes Journal is a byproduct of us showing up every day.
Okay.
So I'll give you another example. Let's say like learning a new word every single day is what makes a great speaker.
Okay.
Because it's the tools in your tool belt, right?
So it's something you do every day that creates.
Yeah. So it's something that
else.
seems relatively non-consequential, or it's like you're making it seem You're breaking it down to its smallest individual kind of like.
So saving like $1 every day.
Yeah, something like that. So it'd be like saving $1 every day makes you a millionaire. Yeah.
Like that.
Do you have any, like, when you think about your experience as an entrepreneur, something that you have done every day or very often that has stockpiled and has turned into like a pretty large habit or a success for you?
I mean, kind of originally, like, I think in the broadest sense, like, I mean, showing up every day and paying attention to your business makes your business better, but that's not super specific. I don't know if it's hard to point to any one action. Like, I guess I could say checking the bank account every day gives you a good idea of where your money's going, but like, I don't know. Or like looking at your comments on all of your ads makes you understand objections better and how to overcome them or how to posture your product.
Talking to your customer every day helps you learn more about your product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Getting in the trenches with your customers like helps you understand them.
I got one for you. I know how to turn it into like a quote.
Okay.
Great products are made from talking from your customers every day.
Are made from talking from your customers every day?
Talking to your customers every day.
Got it. Sure. Yeah.
I feel like that works. I feel like we could take that. We could put it on.
I think so.
We could put it in a frame. And
I mean, yeah, Henry Ford would maybe disagree, but.
Right, because he would say they want a faster horse.
Yeah. That's why it's tricky. Entrepreneurs, it's a little sticky and it evolves quickly. Like when you're first starting out, it's like, yeah, you better be sitting in front of it every day for 7 days straight, trying to figure out how to build the best product. But like once it's out there, it's like, that might not be the best use of your time. And you may have to be a little more specific as to like, you know, like balancing your mental, physical health. You know, cause I think at the beginning, you're just trying to get the boat out of the harbor kind of a thing. Once you're kind of out, the game, I think, becomes pulling the right levers, taking care of yourself, and kind of doing it for the long haul, and getting the right people to like fill in the other gaps that you might not be able to fill in. But when you don't have any money, you don't have any customers, and you're just trying to make something, then it's kind of okay to burn the midnight oil for a long time because you're just trying to figure out, you're trying to iterate as fast as you possibly can. So I don't know. I guess I guess it changes. I don't know. Entrepreneurship's, I feel like it's too varied, you know?
Yeah. It's hard though, because I feel like the grandiose absolute statements are said by a lot of like the entrepreneurs that we follow. You know what I mean? It's like they speak about they speak about things with an absolute certainty, though like things are shifting. Saw one today, it was like 6-figure businesses worry about, it was like 6-figure worries about price, 7 figures worry about promotion, 8-figure businesses worry about product, and 9-figure businesses worry about people. And I was like,
not really.
Well, yeah, it was hard because like obviously, and all of those things are important.
Yeah.
But the thing that was confusing is that because you're getting more mature as your company grows, and so you start to understand what the most valuable thing is, or is that just like at that point in your business that's the most important thing? You know,
it's probably just an oversimplification of numbers and key phrases.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess. I mean, the assumption is close to being true that if you have the right people, all the other things fall in line, right?
Sure, but I mean, if you can't afford to have any people,
right?
So
that's why he started with 6-figure businesses.
Yeah,
I guess
you could flip the tweet upside down, and it would be just as profound.
I guess that's true.
You know, yeah. I don't think Twitter's a good place to, you know, sort of dig deeper for meanings. You know, it's just not a great venue for like nuanced conversations. You know, but like a bumper sticker of a generality, like saving $1 every day is going to make you a millionaire. Sure, knock yourself out. You know, but so I don't know. I guess usually when I see people that tweet stuff like that, I kind of just like, you know, roll my eyes or scroll past or unfollow them or whatever.
I mean, of the entrepreneurs that I follow, like 90% of them do that.
Yeah. There's people out there that I think tweet about real stuff. And it's funny because the people that are actually entrepreneurs, like currently actually building something, not the ones that have sold, not the ones that worked at a startup and then left, not the ones that started, their own agency after they worked in house somewhere or something. Like people that are building product businesses do not tweet like that. Because first of all, I mean, it's 2021, right before the holiday season, and everyone's miserable. If you're selling a physical product, especially if it's manufactured overseas, even domestically, you're probably not having a great year just because COVID and just because the way things are. And I always appreciate the people that I follow on Twitter who are just super upfront about that. Like I was reading a whole thread today about a guy who launched a Kickstarter and raised $3 million on his Kickstarter. And I think, and it was this year, and just over the course of 2021, like the skyrocket in like freight cost and manufacturing and stuff, put him in like a literal impossible situation to win. And I just like really felt for the guy, you know, and he wasn't looking for sympathy. He wasn't complaining. He was just like, this sucks. He's like, look at what happened. He's like, I'm between like just a rock. He's like, I either go back to my backers and ask them to pay me more money, or I wait until COVID dies down. Or he's like, I just don't know what to do, you know? So tough.
Yeah, I definitely am very envious of digital products right now.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I'd say I'm envious. I think that like, because in my opinion, there's nothing more satisfying than selling something like a physical product that someone can hold. Like I know it's clunky and sort of old school almost feeling these days. But I love the fact that like we have a warehouse right now, and I love the fact that I can go in that warehouse and I can just see the inventory we have. I love the fact that like we can pack orders with our hands and like tape them up and print a label and like this is going to go somewhere and it needs to like, I think that's like a very like human and sort of visceral way to connect with your product. So I don't know if I would trade that just because of supply chain issues, you know? I think there's something that like much more human and deeper about shipping a product, but that's probably a little bit of an old school take because, you know, people are all digital now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like people like only digital things now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think about it a lot. I'm trying to, you know, I think about whether or not if I was to build another direct to consumer type of product, or if I would do a digital product, or if I would do a SaaS.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. Because in my head, because it's like your logic with TikTok. It's like a bad TikTok ad is still the best ad you can choose because there's so many eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to change the world, the best thing you can build is a digital product. Because the most people use the most used products are digital products right now. So if you want to make a difference in someone's life, in the most people's lives rather, if you're going for quantity, then a digital product would probably do that.
Yeah, I might disagree a little bit. Just because, like, I mean, I get the world is digital, but because the world's so digital, I think the definition of digital is very replaceable. It's very easy to switch digital products.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not talking about the quality of the product necessarily. Like, you could build like think about Facebook, right? Like, good or bad, Facebook has stuck around, so it's not necessarily replaceable as easily as we once thought. Like, MySpace was replaceable.
Yeah.
So if I was able to create, if someone said if a genie showed up and said you can have one, you get one of two things.
Mm-hmm.
You can have, and they both mean the exact same thing to the end user, a digital or a physical product, I would choose digital because more people use digital products, which means you can have more of an impact on a mathematical standpoint.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't look at it from the end users. I would just look at COGS. It's like, if you don't have to store anything or ship anything and you can send them immediately to anywhere in the world, then, I mean, yeah, of course, digital is more friendly.
But I mean, like, taking like money out of it. Let's even you're able to you make the exact same amount of money. Meeting people where they are is going to have more impact than forcing them to change up what they already do.
Yeah. Well, that's not really part of it. It's either digital or physical. That's kind of the thing. And it's hard to compare like a digital product versus a physical product, I guess. But I mean, hey, like we sell journals and there are plenty of digital journals out there, right? Now, like if we were to stop doing this, would I start selling a digital journal? Probably not. because I just don't think that I believe in that. And that there's nothing wrong with someone running a digital journal software company. Like that's fine. I think for me, just like as something I would want to work on, I love the idea of like thousands, if not millions of customers who have journals on their shelves that like we kind of made, sent to them. They like opened it, were excited about it. They like physically brought this thing places and wrote in it. And like, it was like a part of them for a little bit, and now it's something that they have and they can keep and like pass down, to a generation, someone before them. Like, I think it's really cool. And, physical products have that power. Digital things tend to just move really fast unless we can find a way to, I think, meaningfully and maybe more tangibly store digital things. I just think humans are so hardwired to be like collectors and keepers of like physical things, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, physical products definitely like take up actual space in the world, which I guess a digital product can't do.
Yeah.
You also can't deny that a physical product ever existed. Whereas you can deny that a digital product ever existed.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can much easier erase a digital remnant versus like a physical product.
Yeah. You can, which makes, so I'm reading a book right now. I'm reading The Lean Startup. And to be honest, I'm kind of slogging through it because it's so it's so steeped in tech. So the whole philosophy is very steeped in tech. And I mean, I'm sure it's a great book. I'm not trying to speak anything against it. A lot of these books, they have the hard job of like addressing all entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs have different challenges. So when he talks about like, you should be able to iterate every 2 weeks, something brand new. I'm like, I don't know if we could really do that. Cause we're not selling a software. We're not selling an app. We don't have a team of developers able to just whip something up like that. Like, we sell a physical product that takes time to get to where we are. And so you kind of have to do a lot of the like talking and focus grouping and whatever it is up front before you kind of pull the trigger. It's a lot of, what do they say? Measure twice, cut once, when it comes to a physical product, and it's like way harder. It's just so much harder. So yeah, here's a question for you. Do you think Apple is a digital product or a physical product company?
They're a hardware company.
Why?
Because they sell hardware.
They sell software though too, don't they?
But the software only works in their hardware.
Yeah.
And you don't buy iOS. You buy an iPhone.
That's true.
So it's like, I mean, yeah, in the same way that Microsoft is a software company, they're not a hardware company. So yeah, it's like,
yeah.
So where Microsoft tried to go the physical route with their phones and their tablets and the Zune, and they just completely crashed and burned.
I mean, they're still like they're doing fine, like the Surface Pro and stuff.
I think the Surface Pro is doing fine.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that really resonated. I mean, everything else, nothing else really resonated. Xbox. Like, what's another physical Microsoft product that you have ever?
Xbox.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. Microsoft has done its fair share of physical products.
I forget about the Xbox being a part of Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably predominantly still software, but
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's funny because the really popular, products that exist today that are physical products are like, I think for the most part, and this is probably just a gross overgeneralization, they're either like fads that came on the scene in the last like 5 years, or they've been around for 100 years. It's like one of the two. It's like you're either like drinking a Coke or you're drinking like Ugly, that sparkling water company, right? That is like, or like Liquid Death. It's really interesting because like you have these legacy brands that kind of got in early and they spent their time, and Coke is kind of an extreme example. It just takes a long time. Like, if you're going to be a physical product company, your distribution is just so much slower. It's like the same reason turtles live longer. It's not because they live longer. It's because they move slower. Like, they digest slower. Their heart beats slower. Like, that's why they live longer.
So you're telling me it takes a turtle 400 years to live as long as it takes them as 400 years to live as long as I live in 100 years?
Yeah, a little bit of the space-time continuum, there.
Yeah.
What happened if you sent a turtle into like a black hole? What do you think?
What you do is you put a turtle on the ship with Matthew McConaughey.
Go on.
And then they go to all those places.
Honestly, yeah, I'm already bought in. I don't even know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
But I'm already in. Interstellar 2.
Yeah.
The turtle effect.
Interturtle stellar.
Interturtle dimensional.
Yeah.
A turtle in a spacesuit is,
Yeah.
I think, is at the top of the list of things I'd like to see soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I mean, like, kind of think about it. Astronauts sort of look like a turtle anyway. They have the big oxygen tanks on the back already. And I think from like a far, like if you're talking space distances, if you saw a turtle in a spacesuit from far away, you probably wouldn't even think it was a turtle.
Yeah, well, if it looked mostly like a spacesuit.
Exactly.
I think anything would look like
Ooh, so would a turtle be like upright like a human in their spacesuit, or would they be on all fours? I mean, they'd almost certainly be on all fours because I don't think they can walk.
Well, where would they
don't need
be
to
walking
walk.
on if they're just floating in space? They're not walking anywhere.
International Space Station. Yeah, it's nice because, they move slowly, so they're not going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. They don't have thumbs though.
Well, they don't have fingers.
Yeah, and they're really cranky. Yeah, like snapping turtles.
I think that varies from turtle to turtle.
Nonetheless,
physical products.
Turtles, like when you snap, you're cranky. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah,
I tried to make a pun.
Look, yeah, they're not called snapping turtles because they can snap.
No,
that is pretty funny.
No, I was saying snap. I was trying to get your attention.
Oh, got it.
Pay attention to my pun. Because when you snap on somebody, you're cranky.
Right.
So I was trying to make a joke about that.
Or you're
cranky turtles.
Or you're in a musical. One of the two.
You know what? I've always wanted to be in a musical.
Really?
No, not at all. I'm like the least musical person in the world.
That's true. That metaphor was either really effective or really not effective. I can't tell. But physical companies are like turtles. They just take longer to do normal things. But once they are established, they're hard. It's the same thing. It's hard to pivot out of it. It's hard to tear it down.
Yeah.
Like you think about, there's so many legacy brands that are genuinely so strong, so strong, and they don't all sell physical, products, but
yeah,
like these brands have immense resilience because they've been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's like a chicken or the egg kind of thing in this scenario, but is it because that company just made a better product? So the stat is that like 80% of companies fail in the first 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And the percentage could be off, but something like that. So,
right.
Does that mean that the 80% of companies didn't have what it takes?
Yeah.
Had bad timing, their product wasn't very good, like all those things. So it's like,
yeah.
Are we just saying, oh, they made it past 5 years?
Yeah.
So that they must maybe they just had a better product. You know what I mean? It's like
maybe it's too. That's the thing, man. It's like, I think surviving in like a business environment, it's like someone breaking into your house. It's like you don't know who it is. You don't know if it's bad timing or a bad product or bad market fit. But like you got to defend yourself against all of those things potentially. And any one of them could take you out. You don't know which one it is, but you're always sort of in danger of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to say, right? Like it's hard to say the best products survive and the worst ones, die. It's not necessarily true.
Yeah. I
think you're right. I think it's sort of like a Thanos snap situation where like during the snap, people just disappeared. It was completely random. Everyone, the canon of Marvel just was like, it's not about who's good and who's bad. Just half the population goes, and there's no 1-2 ways about it. And that is the people that we're left with. It's kind of like if that was the metaphor for companies, then the same thing I think happens. I think there's way more luck in just surviving the snap as a company, whether the snap is the first 5 years in business or 3 years, than people think. People who are in love with capitalism are, I think they love to say the best product wins. And I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the day we live in.
Yeah. Do you ever think that like there are people like, I'll say it. I don't know. I'm not going to say it for you. I'll say it for myself. Is I know very little about being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I probably know of the people who have companies of our size. I could imagine I'm in like the lowest percentile of things I know about being an entrepreneur.
Sure. I guess.
Which in a lot of ways makes me feel good because I mean I have a lot to learn, a lot of growth. But
doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. At least I'm honest about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey,
I mean, I think you know more about 100% of people that aren't here, though, right?
Yeah. Once again, I'm saying like of a business our size in growing.
I think you're higher than you think you are.
Anyways, I don't think I'm very high.
Also, why measure it?
Well, so this is what I'm saying. Is like, what do you think is like the minimum viable? Like, do you think there's like, because I'm 100% reacting to like Twitter people and like just people that you talk to, entrepreneurs, and you kind of have like over time, like we talked to Stuart like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on an entrepreneurial innovation path his whole life.
Yeah.
And he just like knew so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he almost knows too much stuff. Like he knows more things than he would need to know in order to start a business. You know what I mean? So like, what do you think are like the core things you need to know in order to start a business? And then the rest is like extra credit.
I don't think you need to know much. I mean, we didn't know much.
Still don't.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Stuart, it's like the thing you said at the beginning of the podcast. He's just been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's the compounding effect of just being in the arena, you know? Yeah, I mean, what I've realized, I think, is like it helps to know somebody or have some kind of mentor in the game. I think it helps to have a good product. At the end of the day, like if you run your business well and you know your numbers and you hire the right people and you can find customers to buy your thing, like you're going to be fine. You're actually going to be really successful.
Yeah.
If you don't try anything crazy or give up too soon, you should be good.
Think so?
Move like a tortoise.
It's like a lot of luck is involved as well.
Tons of luck.
It's like,
but
yeah,
you know, what does that give you?
Yeah. What is it? What
is
is it like? Luck is.
It's the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah,
that's what people like to say.
Yeah, I'm only thinking in like Tumblr quotes today.
I know. Maybe we get you off Twitter for a little bit. I feel like
nah, man.
I feel like if you woke up from a coma, you just be talking in just Twitter quotes.
I woke up in a pile of retweets.
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I'd be like, geez, man.
I don't know. I think that like there's two sides to it, right? There's the whole like it's not real wisdom because it's like you're only getting a part of it. Zach actually wrote a letter from the mentor about it, about like shared wisdom or something like that, or something like that.
Earned wisdom, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but then the other side of it is like some of the most simple things in life are the most true, and they're the most true about the most things. Yeah. So it's like the more kind of granular you get and more specific, like the less the less it becomes like actually like actionable in your life.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I think about entrepreneurship. Everyone's business for the most part is different in some way. Like no two people, if they're working for different companies, are running the same business. And so people like to just throw out idioms and ideals and quotes and stuff that may apply really well to their business, but for other people, like it might not. I used to have a weight training coach in high school. He used to say this. It's a smart people learn from their mistakes. Smarter people learn from other people's mistakes. I don't think it's true though. I don't think humans learn that way. Like I think that the most effective form to be an entrepreneur is like just getting in the arena. And if you get your ass beat, which you probably will, just get back up,
just tread water,
learn from it, and just do it again. You know? Yeah.
I was thinking of one that I had, and I have like an idiom.
Oh, you're gonna contribute to the
I'm gonna to the zeitgeist,
to the buffet of half baked wisdom. Go ahead.
Yes. It's if you want to feel smart, surround yourself with dumb people. If you want to be smart, surround yourself with smart people.
Dumb people. Oh, got it.
Got it.
The dumb people thing works both ways.
Does it?
I guess if you want to feel smart,
in the room,
surround yourself with dumb people. If you want to be smart, surround yourself with dumb people.
Yeah, there it is. It's a good punchline.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Because the only option would be to surround yourself with dumb people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the whole Albert Einstein thing: is if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, then it'd be dumb too.
You're right. If you want to feel smart, surround yourself by fish
that are trying to climb trees. The problem with that quote is, like, I'll probably get roasted on the internet for this because it's gonna go out to the masses. But
right.
I never once thought fish of being smart. You know,
never met an octopus.
But is an octopus a fish?
Nah, they're neighbors though.
They're neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like living next to a nuclear physicist.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, oh no, the nuclear physicist moved in next door.
What would you call an octopus? I forgot. There's a name.
Is it an arthropod? That what it is?
Yeah. All right, there you go.
I know things.
Yeah, I knew it was a pod of some sort. Not like this. This is a podcast.
An arthropod.
Welcome back to I think we have a new name. Dude.
Yeah.
The Anthropodcast.
Yeah.
This podcast went so off the rails, and I'm kind of fine with it.
You're kind of fine with it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you start in entrepreneur Twitter and you move to snapping turtle spacesuits. I mean,
yeah. I think
which one do you want to listen to?
It's true. Now, how are we going to get an octopus into space? Because now you have two problems.
We could probably fit a fish tank in here.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, an anthropod tank.
Not in this space. In space.
Oh, into space.
Yeah. not into this space.
Honestly, I'd put my money on the first intelligent animal in space, besides a monkey, which has already happened, to be an octopus.
But like,
that's such an awful idea.
Because you're taking them out of two things they need, right? They need. That's the problem.
They're like space to us is leaving the water. You're taking us to the space above our space.
You're taking double space. Also,
yeah.
How have we not come up with a better English word for space? Because the more specific we get is outer space, which is like
right.
Because it's like space, space, and then space.
When do you think space was named? Because I feel like everyone's like, oh, look at the stars. It's all about the stars.
The galaxy.
No one talks about it anymore. Someone just goes,
the universe.
That's space. It's all space up there.
Yeah.
Like, you think those are this close apart? They're not.
Yeah.
They are impossibly far away from each other.
You are defined by the thing that you are most of. And space has the most space.
There's the tweet.
There it is. Found it. What about the space bar?
You were defined by the thing that you were the most of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have the most of. Space has the most space in space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, my question is, like, does space technically stop or start? I guess with, like, atmospheres, would that be where space starts and stops? Because technically we're all in space.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely in space.
Yeah, like right now we're in space.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Earth is in space.
Yep.
This is very meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's just pretty literal. We're in space.
This is like.
Yeah.
I just love how Bert's just chuckling behind the camera.
Yeah.
Bert is like in this when it comes to this podcast. Bert is like is understood but never spoken to.
We just look.
Yeah.
When we look this way, we're looking at Bert. So
yeah.
He's laughing at our stupid.
And the
jokes.
funny part is that I haven't. So he like puts a little thing up for us so we don't go too long, and I'm like, just say it. Like if it comes in, it's like fine. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's probably better to hold something.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the audience needs to know Bert's there. He needs to be like this understood third character in the podcast.
Well, now they know.
Now they know.
And you know what Bert's telling us to do?
Stop talking.
Stop the podcast. All right. Well, hey, if you like the Heroes Journal podcast, go ahead and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you'd like to watch us on YouTube, you can do that too. Make sure and subscribe. Thank you for listening. We hope you have a great rest of your week. or beginning to your week, or whenever this gets published.
Sunday.
And
The beginning of the week. The rest of the week.
Happy questing.